Hey guys, Destler Magic here, and let's talk about Puca Trade. They're back in the news lately because they made, well, a bit of a controversial announcement or press release or, well, let's be honest, webpage. But if you're not familiar, they're kind of like a TCG player, I guess you could say, except they work differently. You've got cards, you post them for sale, and instead of people like saying, oh, I want to buy from blah, 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 blah shop, it's more like, I just want to buy this card in general, and then Puca Trade decides, okay, you're the one who's going to send it to them. So then they send you a message and say, hey, send these cards in this amount to this person. At least that's the way I remember it working. They tried to sponsor my channel like a year ago, and that's the information I'm working on. Or working off of, I should say. I'm not going to sit there and investigate every last little thing and sign up for an account and try it, because, hello, they're Puca Trade, no thanks. But, you know, by reading the basics on their website, which is very vague and very annoying, I think I get the gist of it. So, you selling cards would result in these wonderful things called Chevy Impala hood ornaments. I mean, Puca coins. And you're probably thinking, okay, so a Puca is like some kind of gazelle or antelope, right? Nope. It just isn't. But anyway, now's a lovely time to pause and say, everything in this video is just my opinion and my take on things and not meant to be taken as fact and blah blah blah, don't sue me. So I have a problem with Puca Trade just from a mathematical standpoint, and most people, especially on Reddit, pointed this out too, because they said, well, you can't just do this and have it work. Just, first of all, I mean, I don't know if you've ever bought Magic cards ever in the entire history of the game from any website or source ever, but everybody wants the same cards. If a card is just good, people want it, like Fatal Push, Smuggler's Copter, you know, those are just universally good cards. And then if a deck is really, really hot, some of the cards in it people will want specifically if they're net decking douchebags. And, oh, it's not my fault that they bought a bunch of cards from Red Rush for 10 bucks a piece, and then it looks like Red Rush is crap, and people who, well, actually knew deck building knew that that was going to happen, because it happens every time a set is released. And some of them are probably still sitting on red-white vehicles, too. So, yeah, not the wisest buying strategy, net decking. But the result is, you know, your local gaming stores, some small to mid-size online sellers, they'll just straight up run out. I mean, even Card Kingdom runs out of cards once in a while. I think for a while there, they might have been out of, like, Fraying Sanity, because there was just, like, a huge run on those. And Card Kingdom is actually smart enough to limit people to 8 cards per order. You cannot order more than that. Very, very, very smart, because, okay, you can build 2 decks. Cool. You want more? Whatever. Order some later, I guess. Oh, you want 100 because you're a douchebag card hoarder and you just like to be a middleman and make other people pay a premium? Screw you. Go somewhere else. TCG or Card Shark is where you're looking for. So I like them for that, but they can't magically summon more cards. So it's like if they open 10,000 boxes, they're just not going to have enough of the top couple cards, probably. And they do up the buy list price, so it's kind of like this natural progression where, okay, a card's 10 bucks, we'll pay 8 bucks for it on a buy list, just so that we don't get the reputation of running out of cards. You know, that margin is practically them not making any money, but it's what they do to convince people to send them more cards so that you can go to their website and be confident that you can get your entire deck there. Now, obviously, Puca Trade or any other website, or even your local gaming store, would want to do the same thing. They never want to be known for the one that's out of all the popular cards, because then if you want to build a moderately expensive mid-range deck, you know you're going to have to go to multiple sources, multiple sites, or whatever. Well, Puca Trade claims they have 182,000 members, so you shouldn't have trouble getting any cards you want, right? Well, not really. I mean, the basic problem people had with it was, 2 things. They have a downward spiraling economy that devalues their own currency because, you know, they use Puca coins, you sell stuff, you get coins. And if you sign up, you get 350 bonus coins. If you sign up for an uncommon account, which is a paid account because common is free, it's $3.75 per month, and then you get 1,500 bonus coins. That's pretty cool. And then you get a referral bonus of 200 for everybody that joins, which is pretty nuts. And then you can get a rare account for $7.50, subject to change, by the way. Don't want to give away the ending here. And then you get 3,000 freaking coins. And the way I understand it, I think they were approximately a penny a piece. That's what they were targeting. And then you get everybody you refer, you get like 300 extra Puca coins and all that. And then if you have a problem, you're right into support and something unfair happened, they'll compensate you with coins. So they're just spontaneously generating coins for referrals, for marketing, for bonuses, for giveaways, you know, for coupon codes or just whatever. I heard they were just, you know, giving them away left and right because, hey, if you can print money, why wouldn't you print money? Well, I don't know if you guys heard of Zimbabwe. You old-timey people like me will remember this one. They decided, all the other world governments are stupid. Why don't we just cut off all taxes and just print more money? Like, oh, we wanna buy a road with federal funds? Just print more money and pay the construction company. Well, guess what happened? I personally own a $10 million Zimbabwe dollar bill. So things spiraled out of control really quickly, and a little bit of what they call hyperinflation happened, where a loaf of bread now costs $10 million. No joke, it actually happened. Look it up. It's hilarious. I mean, seriously, whoever was running that country was a complete idiot. Like, they failed 8th grade economics. And here we have Puca Trade, which thinks that making coins over and over and over is just fine. So between the fact that everybody wants the same cards and not everybody's selling the same cards because they'd want to hang on to them, you get an imbalance, and then you're devaluing your currency. So they themselves said in an announcement they have been actively trying to get rid of coins from the economy. Now, I have my doubts that they're doing it correctly because they're probably just saying, okay, we eliminated, some by expiring them from a debt account or something. I have no idea if that's what they're really doing, but let's say that's what they did. Well, those were removed from the economy as soon as the account became dead. They weren't about to get spent. So yeah, you reduced the number, the gross amount of actual Puka coins, but those were never to be considered as spendable anyway. Now, I've already thought of a way to correct this, and it sounds like maybe they have to. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But they just mismanaged the company. They designed it incorrectly from the first place. My major beef with them, and pretty much everybody else's, was the way that they marketed it. Now, the other thing is, okay, so they advertised on Tolarian and Wedge's channel, and both of them decided, okay, we're going to plug it, we're going to say it's the greatest thing ever because that's what you do. Apparently, they didn't look into it too hard, according to them. I don't believe that. I think they knew it was a load of crap, and they're just like, yay, money. But they both decided on the same day to cut off their sponsorship and both make a video just taking a dump on Puca Trade, just being like, this is stupid, the way it's set up is stupid, the way they're operating the company is stupid, and it's not going to work, and we can't continue to promote it to you guys because we don't believe in it. So I can kind of stand behind that, but I mean, I think they should have done more research in the first place, and even then, I think they knew what it was all about in the first place, and they just wanted money. But then their own viewers started to turn on them, and they're like, okay, we got to do something about this. And, if somebody does me wrong, or something isn't the way it was represented, or somebody's trying to rip me off, or a sponsor's trying to lie to me, or just anybody's trying to do me wrong, we'll say, I'll cold-heartedly backstab them. So I can get behind what they did. It's just, shady circumstances in the first place. Hey, if you want the best real-world example, I used to constantly on my channel promote Alpha Investments because I thought his channel was wonderful. He didn't talk to me, he didn't contact me, he didn't pay me. I was just like, oh, this is neat. He uses a nice camera, and I like his sense of humor. Now it's tired, stupid, repetitive, misleading, and, well, you guys know what happened. So yes, like I said, I will backstab anybody if they pretty much backstab me first. So, Puca Trade tried to sponsor my channel back in the day, and here I am making another video about why I don't like them. But yeah, their offer for me to sponsor them was extremely misleading. It was PFP, which I like that. Pay for performance instead of just a flat rate. Honestly, all marketing should be that way. If it doesn't work, why the hell pay money, But anyway, their article that they released is really giving Domino's commercials a run for their money. You guys remember that from back in the day where they were just like, we're terrible. Here's terrible things people said about us. Here's a picture of our garbage products that people sent in to us on Twitter. This is unacceptable. We're fixing it. So it was like 29 seconds of, here's why you should hate us. Here's why we're the worst pizza company in the world. And they actually legitimately had these on during NFL games. They were going hard on this marketing campaign. And then the last little bit was, we're fixing it, don't worry. Probably the stupidest marketing campaign I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't think Domino's had that bad of a reputation. Then again, 9 times out of 10, I'll just go to Little Caesars because I like them better. So yeah, maybe it was necessary, I don't know. But Puca Trade made that look like nothing. I mean, this was, I'd say self-deprecating, but I don't think that's quite the right term, but they took a dump on themselves, let's just put it that way. So first of all, they start with the explanation for them basically taking the Hello Games route with, what was that, No Man's Sky? You just turtle and don't respond to everybody. So this guy, what was his name? Jonathan Medina, he said, it's been a while since you've heard from the Puka team, and we apologize for that. Even though it's been quiet, that doesn't mean we aren't working. Well, that was true in Hello Games world too, I guess. So they said, they've been looking at the state of the Puka Point economy, and they want to have a heart-to-heart with you and talk about some changes. That went to a weird place. They could have phrased that a little bit better. So then they say, if you're current on the conversation, you know that Puca Trade is working on some issues with the Puca Point economy. Yes, like it's really one issue, the fact that it was designed wrong from the ground up. But then again, like the game of Magic was designed wrong from the ground up. I mean, there's nothing you could do about avoiding people wanting cards that are blatantly better than others. So, I mean, there's not much you could do about it, but Puca Trade could have taken some steps. So let me just stop right here and tell you what the correct route would have been. Their marketing was basically, hey, you can take a bunch of your garbage cards, a little onesie, twosie dollar stuff in bulk, and trade it in for really good cards because Puca points. So all you have to do is like sell 100 cards that are mid-range, sell some $1.50 uncommons and send out some commons because, people still need commons to build their deck. And then eventually you have enough coins to buy a Phyrexian Obliterator or a Jace the Mind Sculptor or whatever. Well, if everybody does that, it doesn't work. And you already know that people are going to do that. That's how the Magic economy works even outside of Puca Trade. Everybody wants the same cards, and everybody wants to sell off the not-so-good ones. So what they could have done about that is let those people show up, because that's just natural, that's what happens, and then market it like, hey, did you just pull a $20 card at F&M? You just open a booster and you pulled a $50 Modern Masters 2 card. Okay, now you want to get rid of it. Well, you don't have your own eBay account with 1,000 feedbacks, so you're not going to move it that way. Your store doesn't have a buy list, so you're not going to move it that way. None of your friends wanted to trade for it, especially cash, and you basically want cash, or you want to hand pick exactly what you want to trade it for. Like, you could take a $50 card and trade it for an entire deck, especially one from my channel, obviously, because I tend to shoot for 35 or under. So if they would have said that, like what do you do with a valuable card? Like you just spent money on a booster, you pulled a very valuable card, well now you want like the money or the value out of it instead of just leaving it in a binder. What do? You could buy list it on some website for not a whole lot of money depending upon what card it is. I mean, I just sold Card Kingdom on a buy list, a card that goes for $40 on eBay. It's about $50 to $55 retail usually, and they paid $35 for it. I mean, I like those guys. Just sponsor my channel already. I've mentioned you guys like 1,000 times. So if that was the angle they took in all their marketing materials, it would probably attract the right people and it would promote like a healthy economy because you'd have enough people ditching rares and sought after cards to buy lesser stuff and lesser decks and whatever. And then you'd have people who want those cards. It would work perfectly. But that's not what they did. They really pushed the whole take crap and trade it in for good stuff. I get it, that's attractive, I get why their marketing department did that, but their marketing department needs to learn how economics work. And obviously, like I said, besides that fix, they should just stop printing money in that every time somebody's mad, they give them Puca coins, and every time somebody sponsors them, they give them Puca coins. You can't just keep generating more currency, because people can trade that currency in for actual physical items from the economy. That causes a downward spiral and devaluation, and that is not good. So they say that they've been working on ways to remove coins from the economy. I have no idea how. I mean, you can't just literally steal them from people's accounts, and I don't think they'd be happy if they expired. So I don't know what they're doing, but they claim that they are destroying 5 times more coins than is being generated in a given month, which is an improvement according to them. And yeah, it is, but is it working? Nobody knows. Actually, they know, and they said, well, if you read between the lines, that it isn't because they're making a change. Effective September 15th, we will introduce new membership dues for common members. Remember, common was the one that didn't cost anything. These dues will be payable in Puca points at the rate of 300 Puca points each month. So they're recognizing instead of charging people money on a credit card, they charge them Puca coins to get Puca coins out of the economy. And that is brilliant. So they say what this means is each month, common members must make a contribution of 300 Puca points to satisfy their membership dues. This contribution will be mandatory and automatic. And there is a little bit of an offset if you use Puca Shield, which I think is a glorified insurance policy. It's kind of like on, what is that, GSC or K or whatever. I think that would be GlaxoSmithKline, but whatever they call that stupid Steam reseller, you can buy like Steam keys on it that are super sketchy, and if they turn out to be stolen, too bad. Doesn't matter if you kept the receipt, they aren't giving you a refund unless you bought their insurance plan. So I think that's what Puca Shield is like, which is ridiculous because a lot of people are going to complain, oh, I never got the cards, or oh, the cards were not in mint condition. Like, I get enough complaints about that, and I know what I'm doing. And I use tracking numbers, which is bare minimum for materials and postage costs $3 to send out a set of cards. So if somebody orders a set of 4 commons, I lose money, which is why I don't sell commons. That's the absolute trap of eBay. And eBay will charge you 20% more and bury your listings if you do not provide tracking numbers. So lose-lose. Seriously, the number one person making profit off of Magic cards is the U.S. Postal Service. Now get this, they announced the ability to add foil cards to your want list and promote foil cards will be extended to all common members. What the hell? So if you were a common member, you couldn't buy foils? Here's a thought. Let them buy foils, but don't let them sell them. Artificial demand, because the majority of the customers are common. That would have been insane. I mean, that would have inflated the price of commons so high, it just would have almost single-handedly fixed everything. They're just so stupid. But they wanted to be greedy and go for that profit margin because, you know, anytime that you buy a membership, you're paying them $3.75 or whatever per month. By the way, the other way to fix this would have been for them to just introduce a intermediary fee. Even though it's a pretend currency that doesn't exist, they could have still put a fee on it and that would have balanced it. They need what MMOs call a money sink. And believe it or not, like World of Warcraft and stuff, they will hire professional economists with like master's degrees that went to college for this to manage their in-game economy and make sure it doesn't become a disaster. I know RuneScape did that. So that's how seriously they take it, and that's like completely pretend currency. Except in World of Warcraft where their money is currently worth more than Venezuelan dollars. So what they could have done is say, oh, you want to buy this card? It costs 70 Puka coins. And then when you go to sell it, they tell you that you only got 60. Like just say this sold for 60. I mean, and then tell people, okay, there's like a whatever 15% fee. That would prop up the price of cards, which, you know, may or may not make people happy, but if you got coins, you want to spend them, so it's not a perfect 1-to-1 penny, you know, ratio. It's like if you got 1,000 Puka coins, you're like, oh, well, that card costs $1.10 and I can get it for $1 on Card Kingdom. I'm going to go to Card Kingdom. No, you've already got Puka coins. Of course you're going to stay on Puca Trade. So that would probably work. It would push up the price of cards and it would sink coins out of the system. That probably single-handedly would have saved their website. And I don't know that that's not what they're doing because they say they're destroying 5 times more coins than they're taking in right now. But there's all these simple fixes and they didn't implement them because they just don't know how math or I always say that wrong. Economics work at a basic level. And I know I shouldn't be talking because I'm like a math league champion level math expert. Like, my math abilities are very unnatural. Like, I can solve stuff in my head like, you know, people that you see as guests on Oprah. But still, a lot of people caught on to what they were doing wrong with the planning of their website and the whole strategy of the thing. So anyway, this is going to piss off everybody and probably kill their entire website. It is a fix. It will work. It will take a lot of coins out because, you know, 182,000 members times 300 coins per month, which I'm sure they're lying about that number, just FYI. It's not like it's not going to work, but would I recommend people use Puca Trade? Because a lot of you guys might be thinking, wait a minute, I don't build $300 net decks because those people have clear mental issues. Like they have an unhealthy addiction to winning and they cry like a baby when they lose and stomp off and drop after round 1, you know, the typical net decker attitude. What I do is I sell off rare cards and buy entire decks made out of commons, uncommons, and bulk rares, and those are perfectly good decks and I have no trouble winning with them. Thus, the Desolator Magic theory. Oh, by the way, if you're not familiar, it's spend $30 on Magic and win $40 in packs. That's always my goal. Or just playing Magic for free if you want to simplify it. So if you went on Puca Trade, you would instantly get every single one of your card wants filled and you'd instantly sell all of your sell orders. I mean, it sounds lovely, doesn't it? Well, people have had other complaints outside of, you know, Puca Trade not working or whatever. Mostly to do with like shipping mistakes and how they handle them, their customer support, some of their business practices, some of the backgrounds of the staff members who own it. I've heard everything. Don't know if any of it's really true necessarily, but you know, I just have a problem with their lack of ability to plan their website at a basic level. So either way, I don't like them as a company. I don't think they're reliable or smart enough to run their own company. Sorry to say it, it's not polite, but that's what I think and that's what it is. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to give it a try, you could, like, especially let me know how it works for you if that's your strategy. And obviously they need people like that to save their website, but don't feel like you're under any obligation to, you know, dig them out of the hole they dug themselves into. But if you're already using Puca Trade, I'd love to hear about your experience. Like, what's your number 1, 2, and 3 complaint about them, and what's anything you actually like about them? And what do you think about them as a whole? Like, are they good or are they bad? Do you use them or do you not use them? Did you used to use them and now you're quitting? And especially, what do you think about this whole 300 coin drain away system? I actually might hop on myself because I'm just sitting on mountains of commons and uncommons. And I guess if they don't give a crap if you send them in an envelope, I'm capable of doing that too. It's not how we usually do business, but if a certain number of people don't lie about it because you can't prove it without a tracking number and say that they got lost and they just pocket your cards, I mean, there you go. And everybody always says if the order's under $10, whatever, and if it's over $10, put it in, with tracking. That way it kind of scales. So yeah, so that's about it for Puca Trade today. Probably not going to be sponsoring my channel anytime soon. But yeah, let me know what you think, and will you be using them in the future? And I will talk to you guys next video.